Have you ever wondered why some men seem completely captivated by certain women? As if some invisible force is pulling them in, making them unable to look away, unable to resist. It's almost like a spell, isn't it? But here's the real question. What is it that these women have that others haven't yet discovered? Today, I want to reveal a secret that very few women truly understand. A secret that dives beneath the surface of attraction, down into the very core of the male psyche. It touches something primal, something ancient, and something so essential that when you finally grasp how to use it, you'll watch a man transform before your eyes. And no, this isn't about cheap tricks, superficial seduction games, or manipulative tactics. Those things only scratch the surface. What I'm about to share with you goes far deeper. This is something rooted in the work of the renowned psychologist Carl Jung, a man who dedicated his life to mapping the human soul. He uncovered truths about male sexual energy and its connection to the unconscious mind, and today I'm going to show you how to apply those truths in your own life. Imagine having access to a part of a man's mind that he himself doesn't even fully understand. Imagine tapping into a source of energy so powerful that when directed in the right way, it doesn't just create fleeting attraction, but a deep, magnetic obsession. Not a toxic obsession, no games, no fear, no imbalance, but a rooted, meaningful bond that makes him feel you even when you're not there. That is the power of male sexual energy when it finds its true purpose. And you, as a woman, can become the channel through which that energy flows. Maybe you've already tried everything: magazine tips, advice from friends, online articles, even relationship coaches. And yet nothing has really worked, has it? Because those methods only play on the surface. They don't touch the deeper part of a man, the ancient part Jung called the collective unconscious. What I'm sharing with you today is not about manipulation or playing games with his emotions. It's about sacred knowledge, the psychology of the masculine soul, and how it connects to you. When you understand this, you'll no longer feel like you're chasing love or begging for attention. Instead, you'll step into your natural, feminine power, the kind that makes a man wake up in the morning and think of you first. The kind that makes him feel your presence even when you're not in the room. The kind that makes him long for you in a way he has never longed for anyone else. And here's the truth. This power has always been within you. It has always been your birthright as a woman. No one may have shown you how to access it, but that changes today. Now let me reassure you, this isn't abstract, and it isn't too complex to apply. By the time we're finished, you'll have practical, clear ways to start using this knowledge in your own life. And you won't have to wait months to see the difference. You'll notice subtle changes almost immediately. So get ready to enter a world where the usual rules of relationships don't apply. A world where you don't chase, you don't beg. You don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's desires. Instead, you radiate a presence so magnetic, so irresistible, that he can't help but be drawn to you. This is the world Carl Jung glimpsed in his theories of the anima and animus, the shadow and the self. And today, I'm opening that door for you. But before we dive in, I want to ask you something. If what I've said so far resonates with you, if you feel a spark of truth in these words, then pause for a moment. Subscribe to this channel right now and type the word awaken in the comments. Why? Because this isn't just a word, it's an affirmation. It's you declaring to yourself and to the universe that you're ready to step into your power and awaken what has always been inside of you. Now let's continue our journey. To understand how to channel a man's sexual energy, we first need to revisit Carl Jung's discoveries about the human psyche. Jung wasn't just a psychologist, he was an explorer, a cartographer of the unconscious mind. He believed that within all of us lives a hidden inner image of the opposite sex. In women, that inner masculine image is called the animus. In men, the inner feminine image is called the anima. This is where the secret lies. Every man carries within him an unconscious image of the feminine, the woman of his dreams, his soul's ideal counterpart. Most men aren't even aware of it. But when you, as a real woman, embody something that resonates with his inner anima, something extraordinary happens. His sexual energy doesn't just stay at the surface level, it begins to transform. It becomes a force of devotion, inspiration, and obsession. Think of male sexual energy like a powerful underground river. If it's blocked or wasted on fleeting pleasures, it loses its true potential. But when it's directed through a deep connection with a woman who awakens his anima, that current surges upward. It fuels his creativity, his passion, his devotion to you. It makes him feel alive in a way he never has before. Now let me be clear, this is not about manipulation, it's about authenticity. It's about creating a space where his energy naturally flows towards you because you resonate with something deep within him. This is why some men become radiant, almost transformed around certain women. Those women, consciously or unconsciously, are activating his anima, and his sexual energy rises into something higher than physical attraction. So how do you do it? How do you channel his energy in a way that creates this kind of bond? Through my study of Jung's theories and real-life experience, I've identified 5 powerful pathways. The first is receptive presence. The anima is receptive by nature, and when you cultivate a presence that is strong yet open, confident but not domineering, you create a magnetic pull. Imagine yourself as a vessel, not empty, but full of your own radiant power. A man senses this instinctively. He feels safe to bring you his hopes, fears, and desires, knowing you can receive them without judgment. That's where devotion begins. The second path is multi-level communication. The anima doesn't just speak through logic. She speaks through symbols, images, and emotions. That's why when you communicate with a man, it's not just about words. It's about tone, body language, even silence. A single look can sometimes say more than a paragraph. When you learn to engage his conscious and unconscious mind together, you build a bridge that very few people in his life will ever build. The third path is shadow mirroring. Every man has a shadow side, the parts of himself he hides, denies, or fears. When you gently mirror that back to him, not with judgment, but with acceptance, you create a rare and sacred intimacy. You show him that even his darkness has a place in your presence. And that is one of the most irresistible connections a man can experience. When you begin to embody these principles, you don't just attract him physically, you awaken something deeper. You channel his energy in a way that bonds him to you, not through fear or manipulation, but through genuine resonance. He feels seen, understood, and inspired in ways he's never felt before. And once a man experiences that with you, he will never see another woman the same way again. This is the true power of feminine energy aligned with Jungian psychology. It's not about doing more, trying harder, or playing endless games. It's about rediscovering what has always been within you, your ability to awaken, channel, and transform the deepest force within a man. So the question is, are you ready to step into that power? Carl Jung spoke often about something called the shadow. It's that hidden part of ourselves we don't like to show the world, the fears we bury, the desires we suppress, the traits we pretend aren't there. And every man carries a shadow. He may look confident on the outside, but inside there are parts of him he hides, even from himself. Now imagine what happens when you, as a woman, can look directly at those hidden parts of him without fear, without judgment. Do you know what he feels in that moment? For perhaps the very first time in his life, he feels seen, truly seen. And when a man experiences that level of acceptance, it creates a bond that is almost unbreakable. This is one of the paths Jung hinted at, what I call shadow integration through intimacy. But it's only one piece of the puzzle. There are other ways, equally powerful, to channel a man's sexual energy into something deeper, something that binds him to you in devotion and fascination. The fourth path is what Jung referred to indirectly as sacred polarity. He understood that the strongest attraction comes not just from what we share, but from the dynamic tension between our differences. Yes, it's important to share values, goals, and worldviews. That's what gives a relationship stability. But stability alone doesn't create fire. Fire comes from polarity. It comes from the dance between the masculine and the feminine. And let's be clear, this isn't about stereotypes or rigid roles. It's not about cooking, cleaning, or who pays the bill. This is about energy. Masculine and feminine energies are complementary currents. When you embrace your feminine essence, whether that shows up as softness, creativity, intuition, playfulness, sensuality, or a blend of all, something happens inside him. His masculine energy rises to meet it, intensifies, it expands, it directs itself toward you. You're not making him do anything, you're simply opening a channel that awakens what was already inside him. And then there's the fifth path, initiation into mystery. Jung associated the anima, the feminine presence inside a man's unconscious, with mystery itself, with the unknown, the mystical, the transformative. When you keep discovery alive in your relationship, when you invite him into an unfolding journey rather than giving him the illusion that he already knows everything about you, you spark a kind of obsession that is both beautiful and enduring. Think about it. We all lose interest in what we believe is fully predictable. But when a relationship is alive with curiosity, adventure, and growth, it becomes magnetic. He's not just obsessed with you, he's obsessed with the mystery of what the two of you are creating together. At the core of all of this is a simple principle. Energy follows attention. When you become the focus of a man's attention, not because you demand it, but because your presence naturally draws it, his sexual energy flows toward you. And when that happens, it transforms. It stops being a shallow desire and becomes devotion, creativity, and obsession in its highest form. Now, I want to stress something important here. What I'm sharing with you is not about techniques, tricks, or rehearsed gestures. It's not about memorizing the perfect words or playing games. This is about a way of being. It's about cultivating a presence, moment by moment, day by day, that is both authentic and magnetic. There's something deeply liberating about this. You're not asked to become someone else. You don't have to put on a mask, play small, or perform. Quite the opposite. This is about becoming more of who you truly are, the fullest, most radiant, most authentic version of yourself. That is what makes you irresistible. That is what awakens his energy and keeps it flowing towards you. This kind of presence is what makes a man think about you when you're not there. It's what makes him feel you even in your absence. It's what makes him crave not just your body, but your essence. Jung believed that the highest goal of human life was something he called individuation, the process of becoming whole, of integrating every part of yourself, even the ones you've hidden. And here's the paradox. It's exactly when you're on this journey of self-discovery, when you're expressing your truest self without apology, that you become the most magnetic. It's as if the universe rewards authenticity by sending you connections that resonate with your soul. And the beauty of this is that these connections don't drain you. They don't shrink you. They energize you, they expand you, they make you more of who you are. That is the kind of bond Jung's work points us toward. Now let's take all of this theory and turn it into something practical. Because knowledge without practice is just philosophy. When you embody it, that's when transformation begins. The first step is to realize that male sexual energy is far more than physical. Jung described libido not just as sex drive, but as the vital force that powers all creation. It's the same energy that fuels his ambition, his creativity, his drive to build and protect. When a man directs that energy toward you, he's not just desiring your body, he's channeling his life force into the connection. That's what makes this so powerful. But before you can influence his energy, you must first recognize and embrace your own. And this is where many women have been conditioned to disconnect. They've been taught to view sexuality as something shameful, or as something to be used for someone else's pleasure. But your sexual energy is sacred. It is not separate from your creativity, your intuition, or your spirit. It is a direct expression of your life force. Here's a practice you can try. Each morning, before you begin your day, take a few quiet moments to connect with your body. Breathe deeply. Feel every part of yourself. Give thanks for your strength, your sensitivity, your ability to feel pleasure. Visualize your sexual energy as a golden light radiating from your core, filling every inch of you. When you carry this energy, men feel it. They may not understand why, but they will sense your magnetism. The second step is creating a sacred space of connection. Most men live behind armor. From a young age, they're taught to suppress vulnerability, to never show weakness. But when you offer him a space where he can lay that armor down, even just for a while, you give him a gift more precious than anything else. You give him freedom. How do you do this? Through presence, through listening without judgment, through acceptance. When he shares something painful, don't rush to fix it. Don't analyze, simply hold space. Let him see in your eyes, in your touch, that he is safe to be all of who he is. That experience becomes addictive, not because you're manipulating him, but because you're offering him something the world almost never does: permission to be whole. The third step is shadow work. Every man carries parts of himself he represses, and those repressions consume enormous amounts of energy. When you allow him to express those hidden parts safely, you free that energy, and much of it will naturally flow into the connection between you. The fourth step is understanding projection. Jung taught that we project our inner images onto others. A man projects his anima onto you, the woman of his unconscious. By noticing the archetypes he's drawn to, the healer, the muse, the priestess, you can reflect aspects of them authentically, awakening his deepest desires without pretense. And finally, the fifth step, sacred union. Jung called it conjunctio, the merging of opposites into a higher wholeness. When the masculine and feminine meet on every level, physical, emotional, spiritual, something alchemical happens. It's not just love. It's devotion. It's not just attraction. It's obsession in its highest, most beautiful form. Have you ever noticed that a man never truly tires of a woman who continues to reveal new layers of herself? Not through shallow tricks or manipulative games, but through the genuine depth of her being. This is the secret Jung hinted at in his studies of the psyche. A woman who embodies both mystery and authenticity holds a power far greater than fleeting beauty. She taps into something ancient, something that awakens a man's sexual energy, transforming it into devotion. And here's the truth. This isn't about forcing a man to obsess over you. It's about learning to channel the most powerful force within him, his sexual energy, and guiding it toward a deeper, almost sacred connection. When you understand how to do this, he won't just desire you. He'll feel drawn to you with every fiber of his being, unable to let go. Jung spoke often about the unconscious, the anima, the shadow, and the sacred polarity between masculine and feminine. Within these ideas lies a roadmap, not only for attraction, but for creating bonds that endure. Today, I want to walk you through this roadmap, step by step, in a way you can actually apply. And by the end, you'll see why this approach doesn't just change your relationships, it transforms you too. Let's start with one of Jung's most profound insights, the shadow. Every man carries hidden parts of himself, fears, vulnerabilities, desires that he represses. Society teaches him to armor up, to always appear strong, to hide his tenderness. But beneath that armor lies immense energy. When you, as a woman, can see his shadow without fear or judgment, something extraordinary happens. He feels truly seen, maybe for the first time in his life. And that creates a bond stronger than anything superficial attraction could ever achieve. Think about it. How many people in his world actually allow him to be vulnerable? Almost none. But when you do, when you let him take off that mask and breathe, he associates that liberation with you. That's obsession in its purest form. Not a destructive craving, but a longing to return to the only place where he feels whole. The second key lies in sacred polarity. Jung understood that attraction thrives not in sameness, but in the dance between opposites. Yes, you need shared values and emotional compatibility. But what keeps his energy alive is polarity, the tension between masculine and feminine. And this isn't about outdated roles or stereotypes. It's about energy. When you embody your feminine essence, whether through softness, creativity, sensuality, or intuition, you ignite his masculine drive. You complement him not by shrinking, but by fully standing in your own energy. This creates a current of electricity between you that never burns out. He feels drawn to you instinctively because you awaken in him a deeper expression of who he is. Then comes what Jung called mystery. The anima, the feminine image within a man's psyche, is tied to the unknown. Men don't crave a woman who is entirely predictable. They crave discovery. When you bring curiosity, new layers of depth and shared growth into your relationship, you nourish this mystery. You give him the sense that being with you is an adventure that never ends. This doesn't mean playing games. It means living fully, exploring your passions, evolving as a person. A man becomes obsessed with a woman who continuously expands because with her, life itself feels larger. But here's where it becomes truly powerful. Ritual. Jung believed rituals were bridges between the conscious and unconscious, anchors that root energy into lasting form. When you and a man create shared rituals, no matter how simple, you're building energetic anchors for his sexual energy. It could be a special way of greeting each other, a morning ritual of sharing dreams, or a moment of silence before bed. What matters is consistency and meaning. Over time, these rituals awaken an altered state within him, a state linked entirely to you. Even when you're apart, the memory of them keeps the bond alive. By now, you can see this isn't about superficial seduction. It's not about memorizing lines or faking qualities you don't have. This is about cultivating presence, authenticity, and depth. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you grow into yourself, the more irresistible you become. Jung believed the ultimate human journey is individuation, becoming wholly yourself. And it's precisely on this path of self-discovery that your magnetism shines brightest. Because when you embody your full femininity, your light and shadow, your softness and strength, you naturally channel his sexual energy. He feels drawn to you not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Now let's get practical. How can you begin applying this in your life? Start with yourself. Connect to your own sexual energy. Too many women have been conditioned to fear or suppress it. But your sexual energy isn't separate from your spirituality or creativity. It is your life force. When you honor it, you radiate a magnetism that no man can resist. One simple practice. Each morning, place a hand on your body and visualize golden light flowing through you. Feel gratitude for your physical form. Claim your sensuality as sacred. Do this consistently and you'll notice a shift. Men won't know why, but they'll feel it. Second, create emotional safety. Allow him to take off his armor. Don't rush to fix him or judge him. Simply hold space. When he feels he can reveal every side of himself with you, his obsession won't just be physical, it will be soul deep. Third, embrace his shadow. Notice the parts he hides. Meet them with compassion. Help him integrate rather than suppress them. When that repressed energy is freed, much of it will flow toward you. Fourth, reflect his anima. Observe what qualities captivate him: the muse, the healer, the priestess, the warrior. These archetypes live in every woman. Highlight the ones that align with you. and you'll connect with him on an unconscious level he can't explain. And finally, invite him into the sacred union Jung described, the conjunctio. This is where opposites merge, where masculine and feminine unite to create something greater than themselves. It's not just love, it's alchemy, it's devotion, it's obsession in the most beautiful form. Of course, this path isn't without challenges. Awakening these forces stirs shadows, wounds, fears. It takes courage to face them. It requires compassion for him and for yourself. But if you walk this path with integrity, the rewards are immense. You won't just make him obsessed with you, you'll both evolve into fuller versions of yourselves. In the end, this isn't about power over a man. It's about awakening the power within you. It's about transforming sexual energy, the most primal force in existence, into a bond that uplifts, inspires, and endures. Because when you embody your full, radiant presence, you don't just attract him, you become unforgettable. You become his home, his inspiration, his destiny, and that, my dear, is the deepest secret of Jung's psychology.